Welcome to Urban Knife Guy, where we explore the urban lifestyle and the jungle survival. Today we're going to talk all about Victorinox Swiss Army Knife scales. That's the handles on the knives. Many times when we think about choosing a knife, we don't consider the scales, we think of functionality, size or price, and that makes sense. So today it's all about the scales. First, if you watch this channel regularly but have not subscribed, please do so to help the channel out. Thanks. So here are the most common scales that you can find on Swiss Army knives, and I'll go through them not really in order of importance or preference, but maybe the most common. So starting of course with the classic Celador scales. These are the shiny scales that you've come to know and love from Victorinox. So we'll talk about the pros and cons of the scales for each in just a bit. We'll go through the material first. These are nylon scales, also called economy scales. It doesn't have that shine, it's a matte finish. We have these walnut wood scales, and then often you can find different sort of engravings, and these come with many different Swiss Army knives, including different size models. These are the transparent or translucent scales, and this is the Cyber Tool 29, the small one, and all the Cyber Tools come with these transparent scales, but once again you can get many of the popular models in the scales as well. This is the Alux scale, or the aluminum handles. Very nice. They come in an assortment of colors. The default is the plain silver sort of aluminum finish. Personally, I do not like those, but they also come in a whole bunch of colors, and these of course really hardy. Finally, for the larger knives, this is the 111mm, and also the larger knives, you can get these nylon or combination nylon and rubberized textured scales. So these are all the different common scales that you can find, and I'll show you some variations in just a bit. But in terms of the pros and cons, well, in terms of the Celador scales, these are the most common, so you can find almost every model in these scales, so that's great. Easily replaceable as well, and all the different sizes Swiss Army knives generally come with the Celador scales, and the Celador scales also allow you to have the scale tools inside. Now the only thing about these scales is that they can get scratched up quite easily, and if you have a Swiss Army knife in your pocket with your keys or coins or other objects, you soon find that it gets all scratched up. But you can kind of polish it out. You can get some kind of abrasive or acrylic plastic polish, and you can kind of polish them out and smoothen it out. And if you really need, you can also replace the scales, which aren't too expensive. You can either buy replacement official scales from Victorinox, or you can buy a set of custom scales and take the opportunity to try to get some nice custom scales in a different material altogether. For these nylon scales, they are the economy scales, but a lot of people like them, including myself, because they have a matte finish, they don't leave fingerprints, and really good for the outdoors. And I personally find that for outdoor use, this matte finish is actually very good. Even though it's economy, I find it's actually better for outdoor use because you don't get all those scratches. It is true it's not as shiny and pretty as the Celador scales. For urban EDC, I guess would like Celador, but for outdoors, I would definitely go with a nylon scales if I can. Talking about being pretty, definitely from the decorative side, we have these walnut wood scales. They're actually lighter than the Celador scales, and they look good. I mean, it's walnut, it's got this dark finish, which I personally like. You get that engraving of the emblem here from Victorinox, so it does look very nice. I would say the only downside about this for me is there are no scale tools, which I guess it just could be the way if you construct it, it becomes too weak. I'm not too sure, but yeah, you don't get scale tools with these wood scales. Now these are the transparent scales. Now they are, I guess, popular in the sense if you want something that looks quite techy. This does look quite modern. The problem with these scales is they show scratches really easily. I mean, look at that. You can see that already, and this is a relatively new knife, and you can see it's all just scratched up, and that's just from normal use, carrying it in a pocket or carrying it in a pouch. And while yes, you can be very careful or put it into a slip, or a pouch so it doesn't scratch up, I think that kind of defeats the purpose of having a handy knife that you can use at all times. So that's the only thing about these scales. They look good, they look modern, especially brand new, but they get scratched up very easily. You can again take that acrylic paste or polisher and kind of rub and buff it out. The A-lock scales, definitely very popular because they're just strong, sturdy. It's got a different look with this ribbed finish. I do like A-lock scales as well, as long as they're not in that natural aluminum color. But I guess the only downside is that you can't put scale tools in it. And if scale tools are important, then yeah, you basically don't have that. And I don't believe there are any A-lock tools with the back tools like the corkscrew or the inline Phillips head screwdriver. I'm quite sure there aren't any unless they're custom, but do let me know, does Victorinox put out any A-lock models with the back tools? And finally, we have these from the larger 111 millimeters. Swiss Army knives. You get this. This is very similar. I mean, it's not the exact same material, but it's also this kind of ABS, I guess, plastic of sorts. And this has these rubberized grips as well. But I believe this is also some kind of a nylon. And yes, much more scratch resistant. This is the Swiss Soldier, so designed for outdoor use. And yes, you can. This is, I mean, this is probably more than a year old with constant use, and you don't really see that scruff showing too easily. So this is really, I find really good for outdoors, and of course you get a good grip as well. Now the downside again, you can't put scale tools. Again, that's a pity because I think if you can always have scale tools, it's good. Now the alternative to this finish, but for the larger knives, come with like the Trailmaster or the Trekker, or any of the larger 111 millimeter knives. Now this is very similar to the nylon scales as well. I believe it's probably exactly the same, although this one is older, this one is a newer production. Not sure if the formula might have changed at all. Looks like a slight difference, but I believe they're probably about the same. And these, obviously you can get the scale tools with this nylon. So, and again, of course, prevents scruffiness again, so really good. So these are basically the main scales. Now, different scales really suit different needs, and it really depends what you want out of your knife. Are you looking for just ruggedness and you want something that is going to be durable? Then you probably go with something like the A-locks or the nylon scales. But if the scale tools like the toothpick or the tweezers are very important, then you can't go with the A-locks. Then you'd probably go with the nylon or the cellar door scales. Bearing in mind that these get scratched up and you need to change them or improve them over time. If size is not an issue, you could definitely get the Swiss Soldier sort of scales or the Trailmaster or Trekker, which allows you to put scale tools. Now I do like this wood, and this is a Spartan. And I've carried it around a bit. It was in my rotation for some time. Personally, I find it a bit light for a Swiss Army knife. The wood scales just feel a bit light, and then I don't have those tools, which I do miss. So then I rotated it out again. For the Cyber 2, I would not carry this. In fact, I've done a video on this. You can check that out in the link in the card above or the description below. And I mentioned this won't be my EDC, but it'll be my EDT, so everyday table knife. And I find that really useful. So generally, if you're out and about, you want to put a knife in your pocket and really have heavy use, personally, I won't recommend the transparent scales unless you really, really like the look. So A-locks, I do like it. In fact, I'm carrying this knife a lot now, and I'm very happy with it. Of course, it doesn't have the scale tools and the back tools like the corkscrew where I can put a mini driver. So I've been carrying this just to see if I miss it. Some people do not like the A-locks models because some of the tools that they have are more of hard use. For example, this reamer. Not many people feel they can use this in kind of an urban EDC setting. But I found actually this has been quite useful, and the way I approach it, this is kind of my general hard use digger or scraper. So often I might need to pry into things, or something is dirty, I do want to kind of carve it, cut it maybe, and I don't really need a super sharp knife or a very clean cut, this actually works very well. So I don't mind having this dirty. Even if it gets blunt a bit, I could always sharpen it up. But basically it's my hard use kind of digger and general knife. And then that keeps my main blade nice and clean for straight cuts that I need. And of course, this is the Pioneer X, so it also comes with the scissors. Let's find that it's a bit different in terms of the configuration than the 91mm models. And yeah, this is a nice big pair of scissors, very sturdy, and I actually got to use the scissors recently. So I've been carrying this. I did not need to use any of the scale tools or the back tools, so that worked out. But we'll see what happens. I mean, Murphy's Law, right? Every time you need a particular tool, you just don't happen to have the exact tool set for that particular day. But so far, so good. So those are kind of the pros and cons of the different scales. Now I should mention these are all standard scales from Victorinox. So these aren't customs from third-party providers. And you can get a lot of these different scales for all kinds of different knives. Now not every model with every scale available. You would really have to check the catalog and see what's available. Just some examples. Here I have the nylon scales, and this is Bantam, and this is black. So it's similar to this, but it's small inside. I believe it's the same size, 84mm. That's right, same as the Walker or the Lumberjack in this case, but these are black scales. With another Alox scales, and these are in black as well. You can get a whole bunch of different colors as well. For the Pioneer or Pioneer X, they always issue a yearly design, that means different colors. So for example, for 2023 it's a bright lime green, which didn't really appeal to me, but it's very pretty. And they have of course other colors that you can collect each and every year. For the Cyber 2, we have it with the nail clip 580 as well. Sorry, not Cyber 2, but this plastic transparent scales that with the Cyber 2 matches that nail clip 580. And finally, for the keychain style 58mm keychain style Swiss Army knives, you definitely can get them in cellar door. You can also get all kinds of interesting patterns, but that's generally reserved for the classic, the simplest form of this particular size knife. But you can also get, for example, the Mini Champ, which is the really thick one. In this case, this is a Midnight Mini Champ, cellar door scales, but you can get it in the Alox finish, and that's the raw aluminum kind of finish. So many different options. So when you're choosing a Swiss Army knife, besides looking at the functionality, the size, or the price, you may also want to consider the scales and see if that would affect your purchasing decision and influence you to pick one over the other. Well, I hope you enjoyed this discussion and this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like the content in general, please subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.